Hey, what's up? This is the Big O for Seaspot TV's Camera Phone Collective. I caught up with Andre Taylor, brother of Jay Taylor, who was shot and killed by Seattle police on February 21st of this year. My discussions with Andre Taylor centered around his newly evolving role as a community leader and activist since his brother's death, including weekly community meetings that he holds at SVI, the Not This Time movement that he started, as well as his youth community outreach efforts. All right, Andre Taylor, can you tell us why are we here today at SVI? What's going on?
Well, I decided after the death of my brother, Shay Taylor, that the community needed some type of meeting spot to release frustrations, to talk about the things that they deal with facing police brutality and other issues. And I haven't seen anything like that in the Seattle area, and I thought it would be a great opportunity for the community to be able to have that release, that outlet.
What is Andre Taylor all about?
Well, let me just say this. When I got out of prison, I had a 10-year objective. I felt that it was going to take 10 years for me to ultimately get my name back, right? And so I didn't immediately speak to the urban community. I didn't speak to our people at first because I know our people, they're inundated with so many voices. And so I decided to do something different. I decided to put the work in first. So before I even spoke to our community, I put the work in building my name, getting credibility by doing lectures, by teaching at treatment centers. In Los Angeles, there's a treatment center that's called the Shields Program, one of the biggest treatment centers out there. And I made sure I did lectures there and seminars there. Also spoke at some churches and been on several TV programs. Because what I wanted to do, once I did finally speak to our communities, I wanted to show them what the information was able to do instead of just say it. And I knew that once I could show what I had did, how I had become a life coach to myself first, and how it was possible for me to then life coach somebody else because I had got myself out of a situation, being that I was known as a notorious Gorgeous Dre from American Pimp the movie.
Can you tell us what is the Not This Time movement all about?
Not This Time movement was a movement that was birthed out of the death of my brother Shay Taylor from the Seattle Police Department. Not This Time, to me, was a cry of the underdog. It's like when the bully beats you up for 2 years and then one day you wake up and you say, not this time. It's a time that you've had enough and you cannot go back no further. There's no.
How comfortable are you now taking on the responsibility of saying that I am a part of the leadership of this community?
Well, let me say this. I always say this, two things. One thing is that I always say this, and I've said this in the meeting several times, that if you are a leader and you haven't learned to love beyond your pain, then you shouldn't be a leader. Because dealing with our people, because they're full of pain, it's going to be a lot of pain-causing situations that our people are going to cause you. So you have to be willing to love beyond your pain to be a leader. Secondly, I always say this when I have clients, I explain to them that there's a place that every leader should go to, and I call that the place of being content in obscurity. You know, when nobody's calling your name, and nobody's patting you on the back, telling you you're doing a wonderful job. When you're obscure, and when you're content in that obscurity, when it's okay, then you're ready to lead. Because then praise and hate become the same thing. Because in all these leadership situations, there's somebody that those people have to reach. I know the demographic of people that I'm supposed to reach.
Who are you supposed to reach?
I'm supposed to reach the streets because no one has reached them. And that's my main concern.
What's your message for the people on the streets?
It's not just one message. My message is to be consistent before them. It's to constantly be transparent before them. Let them know, listen, you know where I come from. This is what I did, and this is where I'm at. And so I got to get in the fight where the fight is. It's nice to be able to say, well, let me go do some preventative things because I don't have to deal with these roughnecks over here. They're important to me. I'm not gonna just, forget about them or cast them off. Somebody got to deal with them, and that's me. I'm gonna deal with them. And I'm gonna love them, and I'm gonna help as many as I can. Doesn't matter what anybody thinks about them. I love them. I love them, and I'm here for them. and they need to hear that. So if we don't deal with these people in the street, those guys, this preventative situation, they're gonna be affected by these people on the streets, our brothers and sisters on the streets. Because that culture is dominant and seductive. So we need to go where the war is, go where the fight is. At least I need to. It's light there. Everybody sees it. It's dark over there to most people. I've been there. It's light to me. I'm gonna go right up in there and have a conversation. Come here, boy. Sit down. And they're gonna listen to me. You know I love you, huh? With your bad ass.
I want you to tell the people who are going to see this video, especially the people who might have read the narrative in the paper, that this was a ex-felon who served almost 2 decades in prison, who was killed by the police but had a firearm and drugs, is the narrative, that's the official narrative that they've put out there. Why should someone care about the shooting death of Che Taylor?
Well, because he is an American and he has rights. And whatever he did 25 years ago is inconsequential to who he is today. He was a child going through a lot of things in his life, and he paid his debt. His debt was paid. So to say that an individual that has paid his debt is worthy to be killed, that includes a lot of people.
What is it what's your message to the public, and how would you like people to perceive what it is that you're trying to achieve?
That's a very, very, the question is, how would I like people to perceive me? What that implies is I'm empowering the people to perceive me. I'm not empowering the people. I don't care how they perceive me. I care with the work I'm doing, that the work speaks for me. Because if your primary intent is what the people think, then the people will sway you and can sway you. And
So your focus is the work.
my focus is the work. Get the work done. Let the work speak for you. I think, especially in our communities, I've said this before. I said this about preachers. I said there's a lot of guys out there that's good at preaching, very good at preaching, but bad at being a man. 2 different scenarios. One can be a prolific speaker, but got bad man skills because the work does not match the words. So my words, I want to go before me, and then let them speak for me. Let the work speak. I'm only here because of the work I put on.